Hey everybody, Rob Cootie here, the MLM Solution. How you doing? Today is Monday, December 21st, the week of Christmas. Man, it's just right around the corner. We're all excited about that. We're also excited to have you aboard here for today's episode, which is going to be a good one. As you can see by the ticker, it is podcast number 98. We're quickly closing in on our 100th episode together. That's exciting. That being said, today's podcast number 98, for those of you on the podcast, company jumping, the pros and cons of that. We're going to touch on that. There's some obviously things that you do not want to do in this business. Company jumping is certainly one of them. We're going to go into great detail as to why that is, what you need to do to keep that from happening in your business. You don't want to lose people to company jumping. Subject that most people will not talk about. Obviously, we talk about all things network marketing. If you will, please share our podcast with our fellow network marketers. You can do that by using hashtag TheMLMSolution. That's hashtag TheMLMSolution. And we will be going live here very shortly. Just bear with us.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie.
Good morning, Rob. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine. As you can see, I have a different background. I'm in a different room. And as Miss Marie knows, I have hurt my back, so I've got to stand. I know. Miss Marie's been giving me a hard time. The wife's been giving me a hard time. Miss Marie says I need to be wrapped in cellophane or bubble wrap or something. I can't say that I can disagree with that assessment at this time in the year.
That's what I decided to get you for Christmas this year, Rob. I'm sending you a package of bubble wrap.
Well, I appreciate it. It'll go to good use, that's for sure. The wife will wrap me up. I think she's at her wit's end, just like she's tired this year like everybody else, and she's certainly tired of the physical challenges that I'm going through. Who would have thought? I've always had a bad back from the military days. It rarely pops its ugly head up, but for whatever reason, don't know why, I think the way I've been sleeping because of my arm, Miss Marie. I think I'm not sleeping in a good posture at night, and I think that put a lot of undue stress in certain areas of my back. And this is a soft tissue muscle spasm thing, and if anybody's ever had muscle spasms, oh my gosh. It's not skeletal, thank God. It's all soft tissue, but boy, does it hurt.
I was going to say that's nothing to laugh at. I've had muscle spasms in the past in my back as well, and yeah, no, that'll take you down.
It does. I was in the shower and I made the mistake of trying to use my bad arm, my broken arm, to wash the armpit of the right arm. Not a good thing. Went down to my knees in the tub. That was not a good thing, like you said. And it took everything, because I've learned, for me, if I don't get up right away, I will be stuck in that position on my knees. So I have to force myself, despite the pain, to stand up straight so that I can walk from point A to point B. It's been a challenge. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, yesterday, I was getting through it. You could still feel a little twinge, but I was standing straight, bending down, keep my back straight, which I do all the time. Anyway, the point is it was starting to subside, but there was a little bit there. And this morning I took the dogs out for a walk. It's all I did. I went for a walk, and I went to turn around, and when I did, out on the sidewalk at 5:15 in the morning, I'm down on my knees. So I redid it again. I got to start from ground zero. So there you are, guys. There's Rob's physical challenge story for today. But I apologize, guys, that we have these discussions. But hey, it's life. You know, it happens. I share this with you just to let you know that we go through the same things that you guys do. And if you are going through these things, we certainly sympathize. I learned a whole new thing. This is my first broken arm, Miss Marie. I have never broken a bone in my life. My gosh, do I have a great amount of respect, especially for children and the elderly, because of the pain and the challenges it goes through, especially during rehab, which I think is worse than the break.
Yep. Well, you know, getting older, you got to be a little bit more careful. So I'll tell you one thing Rob's not going to be doing today. He's not going to be jumping around. But our topic for this episode is company jumping.
Yeah. Good topic, great topic. You definitely want to find out what we're going to be referring to here. You do not want to jump yourself from company to company, but at the same time, you want to retain as many people as possible in your business. You do not want your downline doing that famous jump. And if you are having that, your retention rate in your business can be greatly diminished. Well, not diminished, but you're going to have very high numbers. And that's certainly not what you want. And we're going to talk about how you can keep that from happening. We're going to talk about why people jump from company to company. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, because believe it or not, there are times when you need to make that move. We've talked about this in other episodes in different ways. As you know, we don't like rehashing on subject matter. This is definitely different from following the network marketing junkies. Junkies will do multiple businesses at one time. Junkies will do all kinds of unscrupulous, unethical things. There's also kind of a follow the leader. In other words, if a leader decides to leave, we talked about that. Should you go with them? Should you follow them? It's your business. Make the decision on your own whether to go with them. Don't make that jump. We have touched on this subject in different ways, but we've never really addressed company jumping. And we're not talking about just a one-time jump. We're talking about people that like to make multiple jumps, okay? Sometimes 3-4 times in a year. And we're going to touch on that. And that is a bad, bad thing. You can never get any traction. You can never get any speed and urgency. You can never get any kind of consistent business building activity to take place when you're jumping around like that. Plus, you're going to get a terrible reputation. You're going to ruin your reputation, to be honest with you, which is more important than anything you have. Now, you can tell I have the dogs. I'm in a different background, as you can see. I'm standing up so that my back doesn't hurt. So the dogs are right here at my feet like they normally are. So you guys may hear them or see me moving around. You see me kind of tilting back and forth because I'm trying to keep the pain from sticking in one spot. All right. So with that being said, Miss Marie, how was your weekend before we get started?
It was great. Cannot complain. Last weekend before Christmas, lots going on, plenty busy, but good weekend. Ready to roll into Christmas week.
Yeah, me too. We are too. Did you get all your shopping done?
Shopping was done a long time ago.
Oh, well, kudos to you. That's awesome. What about the weather?
Weather's getting chilly. I don't think we have any snow in the forecast, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, we're a few days out from Christmas. That could change yet. I think we'll have a white Christmas.
Oh, well, congratulations. They're saying, they're using a little bit of a tease that we may have a possibility of snow as well, or mixed weather. I'll believe it when I see it, but I really don't listen to the weathermen. I really don't. I can't tell you the last time I watched the news, any kind of news, but the weather especially. The wife made a thing for my daughter. She lives way out in the country, and it's a rock. And on the rock is written all these different things. If it's white, it's snow. I mean, I'm not getting it right. But the rock, you look at, if it's wet, it's raining, you get the point. It's kind of a redneck rock way of telling weather. You know,
that might be what the meteorologists use for as accurate as they are sometimes.
Exactly. They probably do. That's probably where that idea came from. So anyway, the thing is that we're supposed to get some as well. Miss Bree, you have anything to say before we get started?
Well, the only thing I wanted to do is just as a little bit of a setup, as you mentioned, we're not talking about, the need to change companies because something has changed in your company and you need to make a change. We've done episodes in the past where we've talked about what you want to look for in choosing a network marketing company. Go back, check out that episode. That will help you decide what should be in the network marketing company. Sometimes you go in thinking you're in the right company and you find out things aren't exactly what you thought they were, or things may change, and that necessitates the need to alter your company strategy, change companies. And then we also did an episode, the network marketing hokey pokey, kind of having that 1 foot in, 1 foot out, being prepared to make a move to a new company if things do change. So those are episodes I would recommend checking out. But what we want to talk about today is the kind of habitual company jumping. And I don't know what your experience has been, Rob, but I've seen this with a number of people that have come into and left my organizations. I hear stories of people talking about these things all the time. And these are the folks that come into a network marketing company, and for whatever reason, their business doesn't take off exactly the way they expect it to, or maybe the products aren't working or as high of quality as they had anticipated. And they move from company to company expecting the company to fix the problem. But somehow they have the same or similar problems in each of the companies they're jumping to. And they're not necessarily looking at that one consistent factor, which is actually themselves. So that idea that, just making sure if I get in the right company, then I'll be successful. If I get in the right company, then I'll be able to make $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month, whatever that goal is, and kind of using that as an excuse and making changes and never really being able to stick with it long enough to really get traction to find out if it really is the company that's the issue and not some other aspect of the business.
Yeah, no, it's well put, well said, and great points, because that's exactly what takes place. You're right. The one consistent factor is the person staring back in the mirror. They always have, as you stated, an excuse. And I don't know if it's because they're afraid of success. I don't know if they figure that it's too hard. But you're right. It's always either the comp plan's not right, the product doesn't have the ingredients I want, or my downline doesn't like the product, they won't order it, or I'm not making enough money, which is different than the comp plan being an issue. There could be so many things that they find wrong from one company to the other, and they're always projecting their problems onto something else instead of themselves. And there's not going to be a perfect environment. I don't care how many companies you jump to or go through, let me put it that way, you're not going to find the perfect setup. There's no such thing as a perfect storm. And you might say, well, Rob, I've heard you use the term, you got to catch lightning in a bottle, which is essentially the perfect storm, et cetera, et cetera. And what I'm saying there, guys, is that somebody that's committed and is going to make a major run with a company that has a realistic chance of doing something special. That's vastly different than somebody jumping from company to company because they feel like that there's always something wrong with this and that about the company. There's two totally different things taking place here. They're looking for the perfect company that meets all of their requirements. No such company exists. Catching lightning in a bottle is just getting out there, getting at it, doing the best you can, even if you're making mistakes during the business building process, because you believe in this company, you believe in the timing, you think there's a real future here, you don't know what's going to happen, but all of a sudden, all those synergistic things start coming together, and that magic moment happens where everything starts to explode. That's lightning in a bottle. That's not what we're talking about right here. So you have to understand that going from one company to another, as we have stated many times before, it is your business. You do not follow somebody that has a reputation of going from one company to the other. I don't care how dynamic they seem to be. I don't care how well they speak. I don't care what their reputation didn't sound right, is. Here's the thing. They may be on a slide, much like I am with my health at this time, where you just have one company after another in their eyes that's wrong. And they may have had a stellar reputation in the past, but something has changed, something has happened. And to be honest with you, a lot of times it's because of the industry itself. Unfortunately, as we have stated before, recently, is that there's not as many companies. When Marie and I came through, and I'll just highlight this, you had a choice between Amway, Nu Skin, Mary Kay, Metallica, Herbalife, Shackley. I could go on and on. I'm leaving a lot of great companies out that are still around to this day. We had the pick of the litter, didn't we, Miss Marie?
A lot of opportunity, yes.
Yes. Really good companies, really good comp plans that are still around today for a reason, okay? So their staying power speaks for themselves. And the thing is that we really thought that was the norm. We never thought that you would get to a point where today you have to be very selective and you have to be cautious. And even Miss Marie and I may make a bad decision in joining a certain company in today's environment. If we were out looking and we look at that company, see if it has the 5 things a company must have in order to have a chance to do something special, we may check and say, yeah, those 5 things exist. Or maybe 4 of the 5 are really strong. The 5th one's there, but it's not very strong. Her and I say, well, you know what? That's really good. It's about the best I've seen in a while. I'm going to take a chance. Her and I will not be perfect. There's a chance that we would pick the wrong company and that it only may last a year. It may last 18 months. We may get lucky and it lasts 3 years. But it's not like the old days where you can look at a company and say, I could be with this company for 5 years. I mean, that's pretty much what we could have done back in those days. In other words, you could make a serious run at it. There was no sense in leaving Amway to go to Nu Skin, okay? Now, I did do that, and I think I've only been a part of 3 to 5 companies. I'd have to sit down one day and count. I know you would think that I would remember that, but I really don't, Miss Marie. Sometimes it was a blur, and I really don't remember. It's really irrelevant to me. But the point is that I did leave Amway. It was a great experience. I loved it, learned so much about myself, about business, and about network marketing. But here's the thing, the opportunity was gone. There was no real money there anymore. So if I was going to do the work, like we always tell you guys, if you're going to do the work, the same tactics, the same approach, the same commitment, same time commitment, everything else, why not make as much money as you can instead of cheating yourself and only getting pennies on the dollar? Well, since Amway had already gone through its growth phase, it was time to look for another company that was going through that exponential growth phase, okay? So the thing is that that's the reason why I left companies to go to other companies, and that's how I learned about new companies providing this wealth opportunity. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, that was not company jumping. That was smart business decisions based. I was with Amway for about 18 months, I guess. Okay, I gave it a real ride. Okay, I was making money. I was making progress, but I made the right decision in hindsight. Okay, sure, it was a tough decision, but I went to the next company, and guess what? I stayed with that company for a long time. I was committed. Once I made a decision, I was committed. I did not go from one company to the other, to the other, to the other, especially in 1 year time frame, 2 year time frame. I knew that I had to stick with a company and give it all that I could. It was the only way to create the type of success that I wanted. And that's one of the cons of company jumping, as we stated when we first started this podcast, is that you're never going to get the speed and urgency created. You're never going to get traction. You're never going to have any real success. You're not going to have leaders sticking with you, okay, because they're not going to do the jumping. You may, okay, but they may not. Now, this is different than the hokey pokey, meaning, as Ms. Marie had stated earlier, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Why do you do that? We're not going to get into any depth. You have 1 foot in, 1 foot out when you're at the year 3 mark, okay, in a new company, or you're hearing rumors within a year, 18 months, because you're connected, because you have reliable sources, and you're starting to hear and see signs that there may be trouble with the company. Then 1 foot in, 1 foot out, for all of you that don't know, maybe not heard that episode, means you're still building a business with this company that's on shaky ground, but you're keeping your ears open, your eyes open for what? Another solid opportunity, so that your downline and yourself don't get caught with your pants down, okay? Totally different what we're talking about here. Okay. Once again, I'm going to ask Miss Marie to interject here in a moment. Company jumping is an incessant process. It doesn't stop. You just bam, 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 bam. Whether you do 4 companies in 1 year, 2 companies in 1 year, and over a course of 3 or 4 years, you've gone through 6, 7, 8, 9 companies. You are not going to have success. And Miss Marie, I guess you could throw in, I'd like to hear your input. If you're trying to build more than one network marketing company at a time, that's different. That's in the network marketing junkie category, but it could bleed over here because people might say, you know what, I'm not going to jump. I don't want to ruin my reputation. But since this company and opportunity is not really what I thought it was, I'm going to do another one at the same time and see if that one catches traction. And then I'll leave this one. Well, that's still a part of company jumping. They're just delaying it a little bit because they want to make sure they have something else on the side ready to go before they make that jump, right?
Yeah, and it's very similar to company jumping, trying to operate more than one network marketing company business at the same time. It's really not practical or possible. And, I'll be honest with you, Rob, we talk about, the title of this podcast, company jumping pros and cons. I mean, quite honestly, for me, when I hear company jumping, it's almost all negative connotations for me, because there's really not any positives to it. Because as we stated before, if you're making a move, a business decision to change companies, that involves some logic, some reasoning, it's really business strategy that you're employing. It's not jumping. The company jumping really implies it's more of a knee-jerk reaction to something that's not working in the business. Right. Sometimes it's your upline isn't giving you enough attention. Well, I need to be in a better company. I'll get a better upline mentor type of attitude. Something's not working as easily as you thought. It's like, well, this system's not working for me. Well, is it really the system, or is it the way you're trying to implement it? But the solution's just automatically, well, I'm going to go to a different company that has a better system. That'll solve the problem. Right. So the company jumping kind of really implies not a well thought out strategy. No. So there's not really a positive to it, because what you end up doing is you frustrate yourself because you keep having these, you have a sequence of unsuccessful attempts at doing a network marketing business. And then the other struggle you run up against, what I often see with most people that do the company jumping, is they will go through their list of friends and family, or even a lead generation list. Either way, it doesn't matter, with company A, and then it's not working out. So they jump to company B, and they'll run through that same list of leads again, right? And you're talking to the same people, and it's like, well, wait a minute, I thought you were with company A, and now you're talking about this other product in company B, but that was just like, a few weeks ago. What happened? It's like, oh, it's going to be more successful here. And it's almost like it creates this chain reaction, and it hurts the reputation of the industry as a whole also, because this is where people see it as just kind of this serial network marketing attempt at these different, what they perceive as get rich quick schemes that aren't working out, which goes to prove that network marketing doesn't work. It's a scam, it's a sham. And, you get into that whole thing too. And it drives me nuts, Rob. I hate it.
I know. And you hit on some really great points, and you're right. That's a big part of the negative that we hear in the industry. And one of the reasons it has the black eye that it does, the black eye is not as big as it used to be, Ms. Marie. Over the last few years, the black eye has diminished. And if people will follow us and listen to our info, I think that black eye will get even smaller. And the black eye, to be honest with you, is unjustified. It's like a young child in the playground at elementary school and having the classroom bully come up and just hit you in the eye for no reason. You didn't do anything to provoke that black eye, but you got it anyway. And that's kind of the way the industry's gone. A lot of unscrupulous people doing borderline illegal stuff, giving the industry a black eye. Prime example, some of the things you're talking about. But the reason I say the pros and cons in the title is because the only pro, I mean, I'm not going to hide it, and I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. The only pro I can see in this, you're right. The cons are far outweigh the pros. There's no doubt about it in this situation. There's nothing good that comes out of company jumping. The only pro, if you're going to use that, and it's a borderline pro, but it's still a pro, is that if you were sponsored by such a person, Miss Marie, and you didn't really like the company, you joined this company or opportunity because of this individual, either because of their great oral capacity or because of their recruiting acumen, whatever the case may be, you just felt, hey, kind of iffy with this person, but I really like what I see with the company and what they've told me. I see potential here. And then you get in there and you realize that this person is let's say a borderline nut and really leading you down a path that you can see is not going to end up good. And the company is not really turning out to be what you want. You're going to jump from one company to another. You might say, I love the business model. I see real potential here. But you know what? This person is really not at all what they pretended to be. And this opportunity is really not what they said. It's time for me to move on. And so you go ahead, you jump from one company to another. I use the word jump, and it can give you a negative connotation in this discussion we're having, but that's not necessarily the case, guys. This is a warranted jump. And you can say with pride, if somebody says, well, how many companies you've been with since you joined network marketing? If you say, well, I've only been in the business less than a year and I've been with 2 companies, that could really kind of have, I'll be honest with you, unless they ask that specific question, I would not volunteer the information, not because I'm trying to hide something, but because I don't want them to attach a negative meaning to something and paint me in a bad light. I don't want to get that black eye in the schoolyard by the bully, unwarranted black eye. So if they ask me specifically how many companies I've been with, I will answer them in a truthful manner, but I will say, here's why I left. Okay. And so the bottom line is that in this situation, Miss Marie, this is a warranted jump to get a fresh start, to get away from that person and get with a company that you feel totally comfortable with, and a company that someone did not convince you that this was the place to be, this was the company of the future, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the things too that comes with people in the network marketing industry who have the charisma and attract people. There's a tendency to want to follow them, and if you happen to connect with somebody who's a little bit of a company jumper, they're going from company to company and pulling a bunch of people with them, that can be a little iffy as well.
And you want to get away from them as quick as possible, especially if that company is not what they told you it was going to be. So I wanted to bring that up because every scenario has a pro and a con. Every scenario has a yin and a yang. And company jumping has a pro as well as cons, but it has multiple cons, more cons than pros, that's for sure. But I at least wanted to address that pro and let you guys know, because I don't want you to feel guilty if you end up in that situation. In that situation, the jumping is warranted and actually encouraged by us because you want to get away from that bad situation. It's not necessarily, and think about it, guys, in this example that I just gave, you've got a person that talked you into it, let's say, because of their charisma, et cetera, she said, and you join it and the company is actually pretty nice. You can totally ignore them and say, look, I'm going to work by myself. Don't call me. Don't contact me, and cut them out of your life and stay with the company to see where it's going to go. If you find out the company's not what they said, like I said earlier, it's warranted to make that jump. So I just wanted to make that clear. Hopefully I did, Miss Marie, and did not talk in circles, and it's perfectly clear. Is it?
Yeah, no, I think it's perfectly clear. And I would say this is one of those topics that isn't particularly complex, but it's one of the ones we wanted to make sure we touch on and highlight, because not a lot of people talk about this, although it does happen in the industry quite a bit.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. It is a real issue. It's the reason why we bring it up, and it is something that we wanted you guys to be aware of. And sometimes we struggle to come up with titles that are very descriptive so that you guys can look at the image and get a real good mental picture of what the subject matter is going to be for that podcast. And it's hard sometimes, Miss Marie, to put out a description in such a short space. And this is one of the subjects that really you struggle with, company jumping. A lot of people wouldn't get what that means and the importance of it. And it's hard to get that across. Hopefully they listen. The people that follow us, I'm sure, will listen and say, hey, I want to find out what they're referring to, because I know these guys talk about really important stuff. So with that being said, Miss Marie, I don't have anything else. We know, guys, this is going to be a short week. It's going to be short episodes. We didn't necessarily plan this per se. This is a short topic. The bottom line is don't do it. Don't jump from company to company to company. There's nothing good about it. I think you already know that. I think you, using your own common sense, would realize if you're in the workforce, jumping from company to company to company is no way to support a family or yourself, for that matter, because you can't get in any kind of groove. You can't build on yourself. You can't build on your talents. You can't build your reputation. You can't build your value. And companies hire value, the value you bring to them, whether you're a great organizer, a great leader, whatever the case may be. You have to be in one place long enough for you to grow as a person, as a professional, to show your wares so that your value will go up. A company can see where an investment in you with health insurance, a raise, a better lifestyle, they're willing to put that money into you because they see the value that you bring to them. Companies buy value, okay? And if you don't stay with companies long enough, that's not going to happen. So guess what? It's no different here. You're not going to build up that value. You're going to build up a reputation. I'll tell you that. It won't be what you want. That's for sure. And I've been around them too, Miss Marie, and I got away from them very quickly. So go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and this is the type of information we want to share with you to help you become successful in your business. And also along the lines of helping you with that success is we have some free gifts we're currently providing on our website, TheMLMSolution.net. My favorite one is the 4 critical mistakes and how to avoid them. Is company jumping one of those critical mistakes? I'm not going to tell you. Go grab it free from our website. Find out for yourself. Along with that, we have the 5 simple steps to success in network marketing, and then also the 0 to Network Marketing Hero. All free, currently available on TheMLMSolution.net. So go grab those. And then on top of that, we still have our Black Friday special going on. TikTok, though, running out of time on that one. You want to grab that. That is our super pack. You can find that link on our website, TheMLMSolution.net, or you can go to direct TheMLMSolution.net/Super Friday. And we call it Super Friday because that is our super pack of materials at a hugely discounted price, currently available for $49.95. And normally, don't we charge like $299.95 for that, Rob?
We do. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a ridiculous $250 discount. What did I do? I did the math the other day. It's like 83% off. Nobody else is giving you that kind of discount on anything anywhere out there. So go grab that. You will have tremendous value and everything you need to get your business off the ground and also to duplicate that throughout your organization, which is the goal, right?
That's right. Matter of fact, get everybody in your downline on that because it is a business building system. It is an abbreviated business building system. And when I use the word abbreviated, it is chock full of files and documents, more than you probably want. Okay, but the thing is, it's all at your fingertips 24/7, and it is exactly what you need to do to build a successful business. Okay, the only thing that we offer above and beyond that is our typically retail price of $995. And we'll typically discount that down to $495. We don't do that very often, but that is the advance, which includes the things you see here, everything we talked about here that she just addressed is included in our $995 kit or our members area, where we have everything, phase 1, phase 2, 3, and 4, and all the advanced, the lead generation site, the MLM Masters Academy. I could go on and on. It includes all of that. Once again, you don't get any of that anywhere. So with that being said, Miss Marie, as you know, people have been giving us a thumbs up. Guys, we appreciate it. Please continue to give us thumbs up. If you like what you hear and understand, we especially like it when we get immediate feedback. It lets us know that we're hitting the nail on the head. We love that. And we're so grateful that you guys have been doing that. If you will, share our social media sites and our YouTube. Use hashtag TheMLMSolution, hashtag TheMLMSolution to find us on YouTube and Facebook. That's what I was trying to say. And also on our other social media platforms. We appreciate it, guys. The only way we can touch the rest of the world is with your help. We can't do this ourselves. We don't go to our YouTube channel or Facebook page and hit the share button ourselves. We want it to be organic. We want it to be real. And you can help us make that happen. And you have been, and we're very grateful for that. And thank you for that. Well, Miss Marie, it's a short one today. We're going to have mostly short ones this week, guys. It's really not designed on purpose, just so happened to schedule that she put together is subjects that are very simple, straightforward, not a lot of detail. We go as deep as we need to so that we can help you. And the great thing is you guys are in and out of here very quickly, and that's awesome. So with that, Miss Marie, I don't know about you, but I think we're ready to call it a day and to move on.
Sounds good. Well, join us tomorrow morning, Tuesday, December 22nd, 11 a.m. Eastern. We are going to be talking about how to respond to those income questions you get. So that'll be a good one. Join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern.
All right, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow, as she stated, 11 a.m. Hope everybody has a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, TheMLMSolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.